First contact fallout. The Grand Assembly Chamber of the Galactic Confederacy buzzed with activity. Representatives from over 300 spacefaring civilizations sat in levitating seats arranged in concentric rings around the central platform. The chamber itself was a marvel of engineering, a vast dome of transparent metallic alloy that offered an unobstructed view of the three suns that orbited the neutral world of Calatrix. High Chancellor Zevix, a tall, six-limbed Arcturian with iridescent blue scales, raised his primary arms for silence. The murmuring gradually subsided as attention focused on the holographic display hovering above the central platform. Esteemed representatives, Zevix's voice resonated through the chamber, amplified by the perfect acoustics. Our exploration fleet has discovered yet another life-bearing world in the outer rim of the Orion Spiral. Preliminary observations indicate a developing species that has achieved rudimentary spaceflight. The hologram shifted to display a blue-green planet, third from a yellow star. They call themselves humans, continued Zevix, his secondary arms manipulating the controls to zoom in on cities, infrastructure, and primitive spacecraft. They have managed to reach their own satellite and have sent rudimentary probes to neighboring planets in their system. However, they remain technologically primitive by Confederacy standards. General Kravtar of the Dromani Military Collective leaned forward, his four eyes narrowing as he studied the images. The Dromani were known throughout the galaxy as master strategists and warriors, their chitinous exoskeletons bearing the ceremonial scars of countless victories. Have they detected our presence? Kravtar's voice was like gravel sliding over metal. No, replied Zevix. Our ships maintain standard observation protocols. The humans remain unaware of galactic civilization. Diplomat Elara of the Solarian Concordat, a being of pure energy contained within an elegant humanoid form of crystalline material, floated slightly above her seat. Her voice chimed like delicate bells. I propose we initiate first contact protocols. If they have achieved spaceflight, they qualify for invitation to the Confederacy as a protectorate species. Kravtar clicked his mandibles in disapproval. Their technology is primitive. They have barely left their own atmosphere. Such species are typically aggressive and unpredictable. I recommend we maintain observation for at least another century. The debate continued for hours, as was typical for the bureaucratic Confederacy. Eventually, a compromise was reached. Automated observation probes would be deployed to monitor human development more closely before a decision on contact would be made. None of them could have predicted what would happen next. Commander Lyra Voss stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance, Earth's newest and most advanced warship. Although the public knew it only as a deep space exploration vessel, the Defiance represented the pinnacle of human military engineering, a synthesis of technologies that had been developed in secret for decades. Voss was a woman of average height with close-cropped black hair and eyes that reflected the determination that had propelled her through the ranks. At 38, she was the youngest commander of an S-class vessel in the United Earth Forces. Commander, Lieutenant Chen's voice broke her contemplation. We've detected multiple unknown objects entering the solar system at high velocity. They've bypassed our outer sensor grid without triggering alarms. Voss frowned. Stealth technology. It appears so. The objects are small, probe-sized. They're decelerating and adopting observation orbits around Earth, Mars, and Jupiter. How many? 23 so far, with more incoming. Voss's expression hardened. The Defiance had been commissioned specifically because Earth's government had suspected they weren't alone in the galaxy. These probes confirmed it. Initiate first contact protocols, she ordered. Broadcast standard greeting packages on all frequencies, but keep defense systems at ready status. For 3 days, the Defiance monitored the alien probes while broadcasting peace messages. The probes ignored all communication attempts, continuing their systematic scans of Earth's infrastructure, military bases, and technology. They're mapping our defenses, Voss concluded during a strategy meeting with her senior officers. This isn't scientific curiosity, It's military intelligence gathering. The decision was made. One of the probes would be intercepted for examination. The Defiance moved silently, using its advanced stealth systems, and successfully captured a probe using a containment field. Within hours of the capture, long-range sensors detected a massive object decelerating at the edge of the solar system. "It's huge," reported Lieutenant Chen. "At least 5 kilometers in length. Energy readings are off the charts." The alien vessel broadcast a message, not in response to Earth's communications, but as a demand. The computer systems took several minutes to decode it. "Unauthorized species of Sol-3. You have interfered with Galactic Confederacy property. This is a violation of Confederacy law. Stand down immediately and prepare for inspection and evaluation. Resistance will result in appropriate disciplinary measures." The message was repeated in numerous Earth languages, suggesting the probes had already analyzed human communications. Admiral Harrison, connecting via secure channel from Earth Command, looked grim. "They're treating us like children who've mispaved." "Options, Commander." Voss's reply was measured. "The Defiance was built for this scenario. Admiral, we can demonstrate that humanity isn't to be underestimated." After brief deliberation, Earth's Security Council made its decision. The Defiance would intercept the alien vessel, attempt peaceful contact one final time, and if necessary, demonstrate human military capability. As the Defiance accelerated toward the encounter point, Voss addressed her crew. "What happens in the next few hours may determine humanity's place in the galaxy. We are not aggressive, but neither will we be subjugated. We represent the best of what humanity has achieved, and we will not fail." The alien ship was a behemoth, a city in space that dwarfed the Defiance. Its hull was a strange, shifting metal that seemed to ripple like liquid while maintaining structural integrity. "Final communication attempt," ordered Voss. The message was simple. Earth welcomed peaceful contact, but would defend its sovereignty. The response was immediate. "Primitive vessels are not authorized to approach Confederacy ships. Power down your engines and weapons or face immediate neutralization." Seconds later, the alien vessel fired what appeared to be a warning shot, a beam of energy that passed within kilometers of the Defiance. "They're scanning us with active sensors," reported the tactical officer. "They're trying to penetrate our stealth systems." Voss nodded. "Deploy countermeasures. Activate Chimera protocols." The Defiance suddenly seemed to multiply in the alien sensors, creating dozens of perfect holographic duplicates, each emitting identical energy signatures. It was a technology developed from studying how cephalopods on Earth created perfect visual duplicates to confuse predators. The alien vessel fired again, this time at one of the duplicates. The energy beam passed harmlessly through the illusion. "Target their propulsion systems," ordered Voss. "Minimal yield, precision strike." The Defiance's primary weapon was unlike anything the Confederacy had encountered, a gravity lance that momentarily created a microscopic singularity at the target point. The weapon required enormous energy, but was nearly impossible to defend against with conventional shields. The beam struck the alien vessel's engine section. There was no explosion, no dramatic destruction, just a sudden, catastrophic failure of the alien ship's propulsion system. "Direct hit," confirmed the tactical officer. "Their engines are offline. We're detecting massive power fluctuations throughout their vessel." The alien ship broadcast again, this time with noticeable alarm. "Unidentified human vessel. Cease hostilities immediately. Your actions constitute a war crime against the Confederacy." Voss opened a direct channel. "This is Commander Lyra Voss of the United Earth Ship Defiance. Your vessel violated Earth space, ignored peaceful communication attempts, and fired upon our ship. We have disabled your propulsion to prevent further hostile action. We remain open to peaceful dialogue between equals, not master and subject." The silence that followed was profound. Finally, a visual communication was established. The being on screen had 6 limbs and blue scales, High Chancellor Zivix himself had taken command of the Confederacy vessel. "Impossible," he stammered, his translator struggling to convey his shock. "Your species, your technology is primitive. You cannot possess weapons capable of this." "You were misinformed," replied Voss calmly. "Humanity has learned to be cautious. We developed in isolation, preparing for a universe that might not be friendly. Today has unfortunately proven that caution justified." Across the galaxy, the news spread like wildfire. A species unknown to the Confederacy had disabled one of their most powerful battleships with a single shot. The humans, dismissed as primitives, had revealed themselves to be something else entirely. In the Grand Assembly Chamber, panic ensued. The holographic displays showed the crippled Confederacy vessel being towed by the much smaller human ship, a humiliation unprecedented in Confederacy history. General Kravtar's mandibles clicked rapidly. "We have made a grave miscalculation. These humans are not primitive at all. They are dangerous." High Chancellor Zivix, communicating from the disabled vessel, could only agree. "They have weapons we do not understand, defenses we cannot penetrate, and a resolve that is unsettling. The galaxy has changed today. Nothing will ever be the same." As the Defiance escorted the alien vessel to a stable orbit around Jupiter, Commander Voss stared at the stars visible through the bridge viewport. Humanity had announced its presence to the galaxy in a way no one had anticipated, not with humble greetings, but with an unmistakable warning that Earth would not bow to threats or intimidation. The age of human isolation was over. The galaxy would soon learn that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. The reckoning. The aftermath of the Defiance's victory sent shockwaves through the Galactic Confederacy. Emergency sessions were called in the Grand Assembly as representatives from hundreds of worlds demanded answers. How could a supposedly primitive species possess technology that could disable a Confederacy battleship with a single shot? In the 3 weeks since the encounter, the diplomatic landscape had transformed completely. The Confederacy had dispatched a delegation to Earth, no longer with demands, but with nervous offers of mutual cooperation and cultural exchange. Meanwhile, Commander Lyra Voss had become humanity's de facto representative to the stars. Her calm handling of the crisis had elevated her status both on Earth and among the alien diplomats. "They're terrified of us," she reported during a secure briefing with Earth's Security Council. "Their entire galactic order is based on technological superiority. We've upended that hierarchy overnight." Admiral Harrison nodded thoughtfully. "And yet they vastly outnumber us. The intelligence we've gathered from their vessel indicates the Confederacy encompasses over 300 spacefaring civilizations with millions of ships." "Quality versus quantity," replied Voss. "But yes, we need to be careful. This could easily escalate if we mishandle it." On Kelletrix, the Confederacy capital world, General Kravtar addressed the military coalition, a subset of species within the Confederacy known for their martial prowess. "The humans must be contained," he insisted, his kitten armor gleaming under the chamber lights. "Their technological advancement poses an existential threat to Confederacy stability. If other protectorate species learn that a primitive world can challenge us, rebellions will ignite across the galaxy." Ambassador Rexel of the Lorkai Commonwealth, a species of tall, slender beings with reflective skin that shifted colors with their emotions, raised a hand in objection. Currently, his skin displayed a cautious yellow. "General, with respect, your assessment is flawed. The humans disabled our ship but took no lives. They showed restraint when they could have destroyed the vessel entirely. This suggests a species we could ally with rather than subjugate." Kravtar's mandibles clicked in irritation. "Knave diplomat. The humans caught us unprepared. Given time, they will expand. Their historical records, which we've now translated, show a species with remarkable adaptability and a concerning capacity for warfare. All the more reason to make them allies rather than enemies," countered Rexel, his skin shifting to a determined green. "I propose a different approach. I will go to Earth myself, not with threats or demands, but with genuine offers of cooperation. The debate raged for days, but ultimately, the Confederacy remained divided. The military coalition, led by the Dromani and supported by several other martial species, began mobilizing their fleets under the pretext of defensive positioning. Meanwhile, Ambassador Rexel and his faction prepared for diplomatic engagement. On Earth, preparations of a different kind were underway. The revelation that humanity was not alone in the universe had initially triggered panic, but the Defiance's success had quickly transformed fear into pride. Humanity had stood its ground against an advanced alien coalition and had prevailed. 6 more ships of the Defiance class had been revealed, previously kept secret even from most world governments. Additionally, defense platforms were being deployed throughout the solar system, utilizing the same gravity technology that had proven so effective. In a classified facility beneath the Pacific Ocean, Commander Voss met with Ambassador Rexel, who had arrived on Earth against the wishes of the military coalition. "Your ship," Rexel began, his skin shifting through shades of curious blue. "The technology it employs, it's unlike anything in our database. How did you develop it in isolation?" Voss smiled diplomatically. "Necessity and caution, Ambassador. Earth's history is marked by conflict. We learn to prepare for worst-case scenarios. The military coalition is preparing for war." Rexel's skin darkened to a concerned purple. "General Kravtar believes humanity must be contained before you expand beyond your system." "And what do you believe, Ambassador?" Rexel's skin brightened to a hopeful green. "I believe we have more to gain as allies than as enemies. The Confederacy has grown stagnant, comfortable in its superiority. Perhaps humanity is exactly what we need. A reminder that evolution and innovation never cease." Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent alert. Long-range sensors had detected multiple Confederacy vessels entering the solar system, a fleet of over 60 ships. "It seems," Voss said grimly, "that General Kravtar has made his decision." Ambassador Rexel's skin paled to shocked white. "This is unauthorized. The Assembly did not approve military action." "Nevertheless," replied Voss, "it's happening. Will you stand with us, Ambassador?" Rexel hesitated only briefly before his skin settled into a resolute red. "Yes, this aggression does not represent the will of the Confederacy. I will transmit authentication codes that identify Confederacy vessel weaknesses." General Kravtar stood on the command deck of the Dromani flagship Inevitable Victory, leading the largest battle fleet assembled in 50 cycles. The plan was simple: overwhelm the humans with superior numbers. Even if their weapons were advanced, they couldn't possibly defend against a coordinated attack from 60 warships. "The humans have deployed only 7 vessels," reported his second-in-command. "They appear to be the same design as the ship that disabled Chancellor Zevix's cruiser." Kravtar clicked his mandibles in satisfaction. "As expected, they have limited manufacturing capacity. Prepare all ships for synchronized attack. Target their orbital infrastructure first, then their defense vessels." The Confederacy fleet formed into attack formation, an impressive display of coordinated movement. Energy weapons charged, targeting systems locked. "Send the ultimatum," ordered Kravtar. "Surrender or face extinction." The response came not in words, but in action. The 7 human vessels suddenly accelerated to impossible speeds, executing maneuvers that defied the tactical predictions of the Confederacy systems. "Impossible," muttered the tactical officer. "Their acceleration exceeds our projections by a factor of 10. Their hulls should be tearing apart under such strain." "Fire," ordered Kravtar, mandibles clicking furiously. "All ships, open fire." The space between Earth and Mars erupted with energy beams and plasma projectiles as 60 Confederacy warships unleashed their arsenal. The 7 human vessels should have been vaporized instantly. Instead, they danced through the barrage, their movements fluid and unpredictable. Where direct evasion was impossible, shimmering fields momentarily appeared, deflecting energy weapons at impossible angles. "General, The communications officer interrupted. We're detecting energy buildups throughout the solar system. Sources unknown. Before Kravter could respond, a network of previously invisible defense platforms revealed themselves, emerging from stealth fields at strategic points throughout the solar system. Hundreds of them, forming a three-dimensional grid that had ensnared the Confederacy fleet. Ambush. Kravtar growled, his exoskeleton bristling. Evasive maneuvers. Too late. The platforms activated simultaneously, creating a web of gravitational distortions. Confederate ships found themselves unable to maneuver, caught in localized gravity wells that stressed their hulls without completely crushing them. "This is Commander Lyra Voss of the United Earth Defense Force," came the transmission across all Confederacy channels. "Your fleet is immobilized. Attempt to fire weapons, and our gravity platforms will increase intensity." The results would be unfortunate. On the command deck of the inevitable Victory, General Kravtar slammed his armored fist against the tactical display. Impossible. Their technology cannot be this advanced. A new voice joined the communication. "It's not impossible, General. Merely unexpected." Ambassador Rexel's face appeared alongside Commander Voss's. "The humans have never relied on the Confederacy's approval to innovate. While our society has grown comfortable with technological plateaus, they've been driven by the fear of exactly this scenario." Kravtar's mandibles clicked in fury. "Traitor, you aid these upstarts against your own kind." "I aid peace," replied Rexel calmly, his skin a steadfast blue. "The human defense network could have destroyed your fleet the moment you entered their system. Instead, they chose disablement over destruction." Again, Commander Voss nodded. "We have no interest in galactic conquest, General. Earth simply wishes to exist unmolested, to trade and ally with those who approach us with respect rather than demands." Across the immobilized Confederacy fleet, ship captains were reporting critical systems failures. The gravitational distortions were precisely calibrated, strong enough to disable propulsion and weapons systems without causing catastrophic hull failures. Admiral Harrison joined the transmission, his weathered face projecting calm authority. "General Kravtar, we are transmitting terms for your withdrawal. The conditions are non-negotiable, but I believe you'll find them fair. Humanity desires peace, but we are prepared for the alternative." 2 days later, in the Grand Assembly Chamber on Calatrix, High Chancellor Zivix called for order as representatives shouted over one another. The news of the military coalition's defeat had spread across the galaxy, further undermining the Confederacy's image of invincibility. "The humans disabled 60 of our most advanced warships without destroying a single one," Zivix announced when silence finally fell. "They have demonstrated not only technological superiority, but restraint that many of our own members would not have shown." Diplomat Elura's crystalline form glowed with admiration. "They are offering us knowledge, not submission. Their terms include technological exchange, mutual defense pacts, and cultural integration. This is unprecedented." General Kravtar, stripped of his command, but still representing the Dromani, clicked his mandibles angrily. "They humiliated us. The Confederacy has stood for 10,000 cycles, and now we negotiate with primitives as equals." "Not primitives," corrected Ambassador Rexel, his skin shifting through thoughtful shades of purple and blue. "That was our critical mistake. We assumed technological development followed a linear, predictable path, that any species capable of interstellar travel must be more advanced than those who had not yet achieved it." He paused, looking around the chamber. "The humans developed differently. They focused their innovation inward, perfecting technologies we overlooked because they didn't immediately enable galactic expansion. Their gravity manipulation, energy efficiency, and material science exceed our own because they had different priorities." High Chancellor Zivix raised his primary arms for attention. "The Assembly will vote on the proposed alliance with Earth. But before we do, I invite a special guest to address us." The holographic projector in the center of the chamber activated, revealing Commander Lyra Voss. She stood in her formal uniform, projecting the quiet confidence that had become her trademark. Esteemed representatives of the Galactic Confederacy, she began, what you witnessed was not a demonstration of human aggression, but of human determination. Throughout our history, we have prepared for the worst while hoping for the best. We developed in isolation, unsure if we were alone in the universe, and crafted technologies to ensure our survival. She paused, looking around the virtual chamber. But isolation has never been humanity's preferred state. We are explorers, traders, and collaborators by nature. The technology that defeated your fleet was defensive, designed to protect, not conquer. The same innovation that created our gravity weapons has also given us clean energy, medical advances, and environmental restoration capabilities. Voss's expression softened slightly. We offer these advancements openly to those who would be our allies. Earth does not seek to replace the Confederacy, but to join it as an equal partner. Together, we can create a more secure, prosperous galaxy for all species. The chamber fell silent as her image faded. Then, something unprecedented occurred. Applause. It began with Ambassador Rexel and spread throughout the chamber, even reaching some of the military coalition representatives. High Chancellor Zebix allowed it to continue for a moment before raising his arms once more. We will now vote on Resolution 7293, Formal Alliance with Earth. The outcome was never really in doubt. The humans had not only demonstrated their military capability, but their diplomatic wisdom. By disabling rather than destroying the Confederacy fleet, they had shown themselves to be potential allies rather than conquerors. 6 months later, Commander Lyra Voss stood on the observation deck of the newly commissioned Earth Embassy on Calatrix. The massive structure floated in the atmosphere, its design a blend of human aesthetics and alien engineering. Ambassador Rexel joined her, his skin a content shade of turquoise. The knowledge exchange program has exceeded expectations. Your gravity manipulation technology has already revolutionized Confederacy medicine. Voss nodded. And your faster-than-light communications network has transformed Earth's connection to the galaxy. It's everything we hoped for. Not everyone is pleased. Rexel noted, his skin briefly flashing cautionary yellow. General Kravtar and his supporters still believe humanity should be contained rather than embraced. There will always be resistance to change, Voss replied. But the benefits of cooperation have become too obvious to ignore. Besides, Earth's defensive capabilities continue to evolve. Those who might consider aggression know the cost would be too high. Below them, representatives from dozens of species mingled in the embassy gardens, exchanging ideas and forming connections that would have been unimaginable a year earlier. A new era, mused Rexel. Voss smiled. Yes, but just the beginning. Humanity has only taken its first steps into the galaxy. There's so much more to discover, to learn, to become. As the triple suns of Calatrix set on the horizon, casting the embassy in golden light, Commander Voss couldn't help but feel pride in what humanity had accomplished. They had entered the galactic stage not as supplicants or conquerors, but as innovators and protectors. The galaxy had indeed changed forever, and for the better. The first encounter with a human warship had demonstrated humanity's resolve, but it was their restraint and wisdom that had truly transformed the Galactic Confederacy. Far beyond the embassy, in the vast darkness of space, the UES Defiance continued its patrol, a symbol of humanity's promise to the stars. We come in peace, but we come prepared.